President of the United States of America once said, "Comparison is a thief of joy." No more than 6 years ago, there was a young boy, me, who was entering into a different phase of life. I was about to start university, going into a very tough engineering program, going to live away from home. And the first day I entered into my class, something that my prof said really appealed to me. My prof said, in a class full of students, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people is not going to graduate with you. I started in a class of 93 people and ended up graduating with only 45. So what he said was completely true and very daunting. And in engineering, you have a lot of quizzes, tests, and optional weeks you have like midterms and exams, and it's a very hard thing to go through alone. So luckily, I had friends/support group, a few that I'm going to mention, and their names are Gagan and Sunny. And we worked through every single thing together, whether it is studying for tests, going through quizzes, like teaching each other concepts that we couldn't understand, because sometimes profs are not the best communicators. Maybe they don't do Toastmasters, so on and so forth. But with every assignment, with every test, with every exam, when we got our marks back, it was an unspoken rule. You're not supposed to share your marks. Why? Because comparison is the thief of joy. If somebody else got a higher mark than I did, I would compare, oh, did I put in less effort than that person? Did I study the right material? So on and so forth, and it would just like steal the joy away from people. So there was one aspect of university where we couldn't control comparison because it was like so open and out there, and that is internships. At Waterloo, we had 6 4-month internships. And if I go up to Mark, or if I go up to anyone in this room and ask you, what do you do for a living, for your job? It's not like, oh, I can't answer that question, that's so personal. Nobody's ever going to say that. So it's very easy to find out where people are working. And in addition, because of the internet, it's very easy to find out, on average, how much people get paid. So slowly, one by one, for our first internship, Gagan got a job, Sunny got a job, the rest of my class got a job, and I was about like the last one left. Now, I got my job pretty late, and that's a story for another day. But because I got my job really late, this is sort of how I felt. Now, the reason I felt this way is because there's certain comparison criteria that we have for every internship. This one was, how many interviews will you get? Who will get their job first? Who will get paid the highest? Am I missing one? Oh yeah, who would work for like a bigger name company, so on and so forth. And because I got my job late, I just felt like I was, just lower than everybody else. And then once I found out how much other people got paid, and I realized I was getting paid lower than my friends, this is how I felt. I felt even lower. But whatever, I put my head down, I worked as hard as I could and tried to get the best experience out of things. And after I came back from my first internship, the comparison doesn't stop. Now there's another comparison criteria. Now it's who has the best experience, who will get the best second internship, how many interviews will you get? That never leaves, because how many ever jobs you apply to, you want to make sure you get as much interviews as possible. But with this comparison criteria, I had a pretty good first internship, so I felt pretty good, and I felt like I was pretty up there. And I was able to get a really good second internship, and I felt like I was pretty good as well, and pretty up there. But then as the comparison criteria kept on changing and changing, I kept feeling like I was lagging behind like my friends with the third internship, and then fourth I felt like I was going lower. And this is because the comparison criteria keeps changing. It never, ever, ever stops. But now the comparison criteria is who's going to work for a tech company? Who will get the best perks, like lunch at work, highest pay, gym at work, whatever perks you get from your employer. Who will score an internship in California? We had a term called Cali or bust. So you only apply to Cali jobs, and if you don't get anything, it's like you're screwed or whatever. And then how many interviews will you get? Because we always wanted to maintain like a good like interview versus like application ratio. So then I got through my fifth internship. I still felt lower, and it's around this time where I realized what what this really meant to me is kind of like, I was kind of comparing like my net worth. So what's my net worth given my marks, given my previous experience, given what people think of me, so on and so forth. And these weak moments are sort of like this network in weak moments, which are short and frequent weak moments, generally represent your self-worth. Because when you're in university and you're in such a competitive environment, this is your life. So this, what you feel is literally how you feel like yourself being. But those weak moments were like very short, but in those short weak moments, it has a big impact. I was so fixated on these weak moments that I didn't realize everything good that came out of university. As I said, with assuming that when I started university and when my friends started university, our self-worth was like pretty low because we're just like getting into, I guess, the next stage of our lives. Together with every assignment we helped each other out with, every test, every life problem, so on and so forth, we slowly helped each other grow our self-worth and slowly helped each other mature, and finally helped each other love our own story and get out of that comparison loop. And the way we helped get out of that comparison loop is, I just tried to summarize it into like 3 quick points. So one is your comparison with the other person relevant? So if my friend is trying to become a lawyer and I'm trying to go in the tech industry and like become a developer, because my friend earns 6 figures as a lawyer, that's not a relevant comparison. So it makes no sense to do that comparison. Second is, do not compare somebody's beginning, do not compare your beginning to somebody's end or middle. For example, my friend Sunny has been coding since high school. I've been working to get into tech industry since high school. I started it probably 2nd or 3rd year university. So me comparing my current stature not being in the tech industry to him starting in the tech industry a lot earlier is not justified because it's his end and it's my beginning. And third, focus on your own path and building your own story. And by this I mean, keep working towards what you want to do and use your friends to kind of help you build your own self-worth. And with this, comparison hopefully will not be the killer of your joy. Thank you.